Um, Mainly on, I've just been listening to a video from a guy named Bob of Speaker's Corner. He's a Christian fellow who tries to spread the word of God, and to be honest, he's really resonated with me. And I've been kind of really interested in what the meaning of the Bible is, and the teachings of the Bible, and all the stories and the parables and all that sort of stuff. And I'm just trying to think, is it some way a manual for life? Um, so let me just give you a bit of an insight into what's happening. So this has been going on for a year or so, really. Where I just feel like there's something missing from my life. And I always go on about having a healthy mind, body, and soul. And since I got myself cleaned up and been on this journey of trying to repair my body and undo all the damage that I've done to myself with biohacking and supplementation and exercise and martial arts and study and all that stuff. So I took myself from a really dark place, which I've spoken about in other videos, which I'm not going to go there now, to a place where I feel physically fit and strong. I feel healthy. I've done good things with my career, in my work, at home. I've turned myself into a better person, I believe, I hope. And yeah, like doing the healthy mind was like, I went back to university and college and sorted myself that. You know, I do mental things like play chess, just things like juggling and piano and all these things that keep the mind fit and healthy, meditate, practice gratitude, try to manage my mindset, don't let like the dark thoughts kind of take over, or I try not to worry about things, and I've got practices and stuff to get me out of these loops in your mind. My body, obviously, things like, you know, exercise, jiu-jitsu, saunas, cold showers, you know, all these good things that I'm doing, grounding, breath work, sleep, getting good sleep, good nutrition. And then I always believe, like, the soul part of it, I always thought it was like, I've always been a bit spiritual in the fact that I thought spiritual was meditating and giving gratitude to the universe and, you know, the law of attraction and all this stuff. I went on this path, didn't I, of like, and being good to people, being having a kind heart and all that stuff. And I still like found something missing, and I kept constantly found myself. Oh, great! Looks like there's loads of traffic. I constantly found myself um, scouring YouTube for the next hobby, the next bit of tech. You know, something to fill that void, to scratch that itch. And I just wasn't finding it. And then I listen to people like Jordan Peterson and Russell Brand and all that, and people might say it's like trendy at the minute to be talking about God and Christianity and all that sort of stuff. But with the way that the society's going at the minute, it ends just the constant wars and, you know, just what the governments are doing to its people. Like, there just doesn't seem to be any moral value for people, and it leads you to a place where it's like, there's got to be a better way than this. There's got to be a better way than what we're doing. And, you know, I was watching a lot of negative on YouTube, and another one of my goals like for the year was like, I need to stop watching the negative content, because I believe that like seeps into, it's like eating bad food. You know, it gives you a bad health. Whereas you have all this content going into your brain, it gives you a bad mental framework. And to talk about like mental health and all this sort of stuff, and you can see why it's happening. So I'm not on social media. The only social media I do is this, and I'll get to the point in a minute with this. Is once I've gone through this history, well, basically to summarise it up, is Bob from Speaker's Corner is an evangelist. Now, I'm not quite there at the minute with. I've only recently, I think it was St George's Day, where I finally just thought I'm gonna give this Christianity, I'm gonna give it a shot, and my mental framework for that was, I believe in God. I believe in a higher power. Call it God. Call it what you want. I believe in that higher power. The creator, you can call it, the force, the source, the universe, whatever you want to call it. But I believe that there's the one creator. And so I believe that. So I was like, okay, I believe that. And then I thought of Jesus' teachings as, and this is probably going to sound weird, but I thought of Jesus as like the original Tony Robbins, the original self-help person. That's how I was thinking about it. This is how I kind of sold it to myself. And my concept of, listening to Jordan and Peterson, that the way he explains religion and the stories of religion and that makes me think of it to try and conceptualize it in my own form. So, like, I believe like heaven and hell is, I believe it's something that's experienced on Earth. Like, my views might be changing a little bit now. The more I get into it, the more I study it, the more I attend churches, and the more I read the Bible and stuff. But I believe that, and I've been there. I've been in a dark place. I believe that if you follow the teachings of Jesus, you will become a better person, and ultimately that will lead to you living a life like heaven on earth, which is where I think I am. Like, I have to step back and be like, how grateful I am for the life I've got. I've got two beautiful daughters. I've got a beautiful wife, let's call her. She's not exactly my wife yet, but we are going to get married, I think, now. Now my views on religion are changing. I've got a beautiful home. I've got a really good job. I've got my health. I feel like I've got my health anyway. Everything's like going great. I'm on this path of, like, just on this great path, and I'm really grateful for it, and I'm blessed. And I've also been on the other road where you get led into temptation. Let's use some biblical references where you're led into temptation. You start committing sins, which in this day and age you don't call them sins, do you? I was brought up to think that that it's freedom, isn't it? It's freedom to go and do whatever you want, and you don't realise the pain that you're causing yourself and you can cause to others. And it leads you on this dark spiral downwards, and you end up living in hell on earth. And that's apparent. I wouldn't say I lived in hell on earth, but I was definitely on the way there. And I'm glad I woke up when I did, and said enough's enough, and I'm going to change. I changed in a different way, though. Rather than going straight to religion, I used spirituality because I thought religion was all nonsense and that. I used spirituality, and I used like the books like The Secret and Tony Robbins' stuff, and listening to podcasts, and listening to all these people that are classed as mentors now. He likes to Jocko Willick, Russell Brand, Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, David Goggins, even like Helio Gracie with the jiu-jitsu and that. And all these people have gave me inspiration and exercises to do to get me in a better place, and which is what I've done. But I always said, like, I feel like there's still this third branch that I'm missing, which was the soul part, which I thought I'd source, but I didn't suss it. So I'm just trying to work on that one. So anyway, I was listening to Bob off Speaker's Corner, and he said you should use social media as the new way to promote, to evangelise and to spread the word of Christianity. And I thought, well, I haven't got social media, but I've got this. Now, if this is me doing my little bit, then so be it. I'm not very public with you at the minute because, as I said, I've only been doing it since St George's Day, literally probably about a month now. A month where I've like got into it a bit more, and and in that time, I've started reading the Bible quite frequently. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, a lot of YouTube videos. I forget the name of it, but The Case for Christ, where the fellow in it, I forget his name, Lee Strobel, I think his name is, where he was a journalist, an atheist, and he tells the story of how he became a Christian by trying to actually debunk the resurrection of Jesus. Now, after watching that and listening to a lot more shows, like, I started thinking Jesus was a real person. He was a real person, and I'm not 100% there yet to think was he God incarnate, basically? Was he God in human form? Did he really do all these miracles? Did he really die, get resurrected, or of all these just metaphors and parables and stories on how to live a better life? And at the minute, I'm liking just thinking, having this in my mindset, that God is real. God is real, whatever you want to make of it. Whether it's a man with a beard sitting on a cloud, or it's a light, or it's an energy force, or it's mathematics, or it's fill in the blank what you think it might be. Whatever it is, it's way. And the other, what else has got me onto this? AI. Looking at AI, because I'm really interested in AI, and watching all the videos of that, because the beauty of AI is it mixes technology with philosophical and ethical questions and conundrums, and I got into it that way, and I started thinking, well, if we can make artificial intelligence, and that artificial intelligence surpasses our own intelligence, then what's saying that hasn't happened to us? And this might sound blasphemous, but I'm wrestling with these ideas, so hear me out. Is that whatever God, because whatever God is that created us, maybe we are more intelligent than what it was. And that sounds blasphemous, but ultimately it still created you. It's like how we think, like AI. That's how AI could be thinking of us. Like, although it's more intelligent than us, we still created it. So ultimately, what gives you and this is what I mean, is intelligence the mark of superiority? Or is there something underlying that also makes something more superior? So yeah, I'm right. It baffles me, it really does. But this is all these little things that intertwine with each other. Me being spiritual and thinking there's a creator, getting into AI and thinking, okay, maybe something did create us, and Jesus was a real person, but was he this person? And then, like, honestly, it's like I think about things like, well, watching films like The Matrix and Dune and things like that, where there's a prophecy of a Messiah coming, or the One coming, and they're sent down and they can understand the Matrix or whatever it is. They understand it more, and they have it built into them, into the DNA, into whatever it is they are. And maybe Jesus was that person at that time that kind of was the glitch in the matrix, or who understood stuff. But the way I look at it is, it's quite simple. I believe that you should treat people how they want to be treated. How you should want to be treated. So, love thy neighbour, do to others what you want done upon yourself. That kind of mental, that's how morals coincide with each other. So, it's a really difficult topic for me, it really is, and I'm trying to articulate it the best I can. And as you know, these videos they are for everyone, but mainly they're for my daughters and for my partner. If anything that did happen to me or anything like that, at least I'm still around to tell who I am and give as much advice as I can. So, yeah, I've been going to church a couple of weeks, and I'm seeing how it goes. But at the minute, it feels good, and I've used it honestly in this past month. Well, I'd say in the past couple of weeks, I've really been thinking, really giving it my all and starting to believe and do that. So yeah, I'm just gonna see how it goes. But I've been using it in my day to day all the time. Every time I feel like I'm gonna start losing my temper with anything or anyone at work, or I just start thinking they're just exactly the same as you. They've got the same kind of life, the same struggles, the same. They might have their demons. This is another thing when it comes to where I believe these sins and these sins that you commit are demons in your head that whisper to you and try and tempt you into temptation. And see what I mean about all the metaphors, and this is how I look at it. I don't believe there is a horned beast with a pitchfork poking you, but I think if you were to explain it to someone and say it's like having a bloody little devil in me just poking me with a pitchfork saying go on, do it, but they don't do it in a way that pains you. They do it in a way that seduces you, and is the people telling you not to believe in God and Jesus, is that demons in action. And it's just it's bizarre, but I'm really starting to like it. I'm really getting into it. And as I say, I'm using it in my day to day, and I feel like a void's been. I do feel like a void's been. It's being filled at the minute. But I don't want to get culty, and I don't want to. And I'm not trying to prescribe to any one form of Christianity. I want to keep it down to its roots, which is I believe in Jesus' teachings and I believe in God. I'm going to follow Jesus' teachings. I'm going to study more about Christianity, and I believe that any religion that promotes peace above all and takes away power from the powerful and gives the power of God to every human being on this planet is a beautiful thing, rather than the religions that say the power lies within the priests. Or I haven't done that much research into it, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm really against the idea of there being someone in control other than what you've got inside you, and that's what I'm believing in. So Bob of Speaker's Corner, he really resonates with me with. He calls it as it is, the idea of Christianity and going to church it's full of weak men, and it's controversial to say because they're very good people. I can imagine they're very good people, but he says the image of the weak men is not doing the faith any favours, and he talks about a muscular Christianity, and there's a lot of people on YouTube now talking about the same, about being strong and having courage, and not being weak and not using, like, even though Jesus' teachings are like, saying that if someone slaps you on the cheek, you should turn the other cheek and all that, and let people take things off you and that. I'm not sure if that's what I believe in. The thought of it's good, but I also believe that you should be strong and be able to protect yourself and your family and protect others, protect the weak. And if you can think like that and learn martial arts and get yourself strong and be confident, you're going to attract way more people to come to Christianity and ultimately, you know, have good morals and ethics without trying to impose power on other people, but not being weak either. But I can see where he comes from, saying that ultimately, like what he did, what Jesus did when he got crucified, that was the ultimate power, wasn't it? Because he's obviously made such an impact on the world that it shows you that forcing people and using power doesn't necessarily equal getting what you want, whereas he completely just submitted and took the moral high ground, and it ultimately suffered and died for us. So yeah, this is just my first video on it, just to show you where I am where I am in my journey, and I'm being as open as I can. I am worried about what people will think, but hopefully this video will explain that I am following Christianity, but I'm not exactly going to be this meek, feeble. I mean, I've got to be honest as well. My partner, she thought that I was going to change and become too serious and, you know, and lose who I am. But I've reassured her, saying, look, the only thing it's going to do is make me a better person for her, for the kids. I'm not going to change my morals. The only thing I am going to do is become a better human, a more committed to my family, committed to her, more committed to doing the right thing, committed to breaking away from technology and being a slave to that. And at the minute, it's just going all well, but we'll see. I mean, I might be in a honeymoon period, like with anything that I do. You know, I go balls deep with anything and just start obsessing over stuff. So we'll see how it goes anyway. But I've ranted on for long enough. 20 minutes is usually my cut-off point, so I'm going to leave it there anyway. So I hope I've gave you something to think about, and maybe you could go and have a little look into it yourself with an open mind, like I did, and really start questioning yourself and thinking, being honest with yourself and thinking, maybe if I did live this kind of life, would it send me on a better path, a better trajectory in my life where I can actually be a better person? And although you think, oh, but I've got to give up like all the booze and the gambling and the porn and you know what I mean? All these little crutches that you have and the weed and you know what I mean? And all this stuff that you class as being cool and your freedoms and that. But is that really doing your mind, body, and soul good? Probably not. No, don't get me wrong. I don't believe that anything's okay in small doses. If it's like a special occasion or a one-off and that. But I mean, I was doing that for a time, just having the odd little thing here or there, and then you know, just the after effects of it were just not worth it for me. So I just get up in the end, and I feel way better for it, and I don't miss them at all. So there you go. But that's just me. All right. So listen, I love you. I love you, my daughters, my two daughters, and I love you, my partner. I don't want to say your names on here, but I don't know why I don't want to say your names on here, but you know I love you, and I do everything for you. Everything I do is for you, and I don't do these videos lightly. I do mull these things over, and I know I don't exactly script it, and I just like blurt it out, but that's the best because that is coming from the heart, and it's what I truly believe. So If I've said some things that you don't agree with, well, that's it, and it. So if you do, I'll pull this because all welfare, and I'm going to go and sit in this traffic now and enjoy it. All right, so see you later. Love you all.